Hey everyone, my name is Key and thank you for tuning in to another episode of OpenPair. And as you can see, this is a brand new series where I'll be exploring the wonderful world of .NET development. Starting off with C Sharp, probably the most commonly widespread used language within this framework. So if you're new to this channel, OpenPair is basically a series that I do where I explore different technologies, mostly software engineering things, and basically I am sharing my learning and studying journey. So this series is perfect if you just want to have something to watch along with, something to study along with. From time to time, I'll try to share the things that I learn along the way. My caveat is that my goal here is not to provide a tutorial or to be an expert, but it's just to be vulnerable and to be transparent about the actual journey of learning new technologies. For a little background context, I am a teacher. By day, that is my mainstay, my profession. As a software engineer, teacher, I focus mostly on Node, React, JavaScript, that kind of stuff, Postgres, that kind of stuff. But outside of my day job, I love to explore different languages, and I love just learning in general. And so that's what this channel and this series are both dedicated to. So today we're looking at getting started with C Sharp. So that's super fun, and it's super easy to get started as well. And so without further ado, let's go ahead and hop into this. And I'm going to share a couple of resources with you that can help you get started as well, if you want to follow along in this learning journey with me. So the first thing you'll probably notice, pair, regardless of the language or the technology. So this is the repo here that goes along with this specific stream today. This one's called OpenPair.net, Getting Started with C Sharp. And you can see the lovely artwork here that matches the thumbnail for the video. So definitely check this out. If this is useful for you today, please star this repo and save it for your own future use. I would even recommend cloning this down so you can run this code yourself and kind of tinker with it as a starting off point. That's one of the best ways to learn, is to tinker with code that it's already been written. Okay, so in order to move forward and actually follow along with what I'm doing today, there are a couple things that we need before we jump into this. The first, that we need to actually have some type of code editor. For this, I'm going to use Visual Studio Code, also called VS Code. If I just type in VS Code here into my search engine, it should literally be the first thing that shows up. And you can just download this for free. I'm not going to walk through this part of the tutorial. This is not a tutorial. I'm not going to walk through this part of the video, okay? This is super easy, and hopefully you know how to do this part by now. So this is not meant for me to walk you through all this stuff. Okay, so the second part is that you need to install the software development kit for .NET. And that can be found, actually, if you go to this repo, I have a link in the repo here where you can install both of these pieces. So .NET SDK, and click this download button right here. And then I'm using Apple Silicon. Use whatever matches your computer, and then you'll get an installer here. Notice that it's going to try to install version 8.0. There are actually multiple versions that you could install. If you go to the downloads page, you'll see that there's version 6, 7, and 8. Version 6 is long-term support, but only until November of 2024. So if you're starting this today and it's before November 2024, I highly recommend just sticking with version 8, because that definitely will be relevant for at least the next 2 years, basically. So please use version 8. That is what I'm using today. Although what I show you will probably work with version 6. So if you have that from previous explorations, not the biggest deal in the world. Okay, so we got those two things installed. And then the next thing we need to do is we need to just confirm that our correct version is installed in our environment. The way we do that is .net, all one word, space dash dash version. And we can see here, this is the version that I installed earlier. By the way, the reason why I do a lot of these streams is really for a couple of reasons. The main ones are, one is that I teach a lot of this material, or I plan on teaching or doing workshops. And so doing these streams is a way for me to brush up and freshen up and to kind of like figure out where my strengths and weaknesses are before I go out and try to teach or help other people. And then the other thing is I find that doing a stream or even just recording an explanation of something is a wonderful way of studying. So the intention here, even though I might slip up from time to time and say tutorial, the intention here is not for this to necessarily be a tutorial. I'm mostly doing this for myself, and then I hope along the way this could benefit other people who may watch this stream. Hopefully that makes sense. I know that's not really the normal fare when it comes to streaming and whatnot. Usually it's done for entertainment. To me, that's cool, but it's just not the primary thing. Okay. So we are set up with VS Code, and we are set up with the .NET SDK. And the last thing you might want to do is in your VS Code, just type in C#, and you're going to want to install the language support, which is it says here, base language support for C#. You're going to want to install that. And then the second thing you want to install is the official C# extension for Microsoft as well. This may not be super important for today, but I'm just going to go ahead and install these. I'm personally a very liberal extension installer. I'll try any extension out because you can always get rid of them, so it's not a huge deal. But these two you definitely want. There's probably some other good ones in here. I don't know. I'm a simple person. I just go by the number of downloads. If something has like 500 downloads, probably not going to happen over here. But if something has 1 million downloads, I'm like thinking, this must be good for something. A lot of times if you just go ahead and install the dev kits for a language, it'll go ahead and install a bunch of different, nice things all at once for you. As you can see here, it's installing IntelliCode for C#. I didn't click that. It's doing it for me. So that is kind of a nice thing. You can get a bunch of stuff just from installing a dev kit. So this may take a minute. We're going to let it do its thing. How are you doing today? Did you notice that I have the color purple? Well, it's really indigo for my lighting to match the theme. Oh, well, I'm glad you noticed. So one of these years, hopefully within this year, this will be done installing. This must be quite a bit of stuff, actually. So please don't disappoint me. Please don't disappoint me. That's my official dance. Okay, so while this is installing, let's take a quick look at the agenda for tonight. I feel like that's a good use of time. So I'm going to just basically use this repo to show a couple or a set of features. And then on top of that, we're going to talk just a little bit about some structural things. So just very little bit, okay? So the features we're going to talk about tonight are just some basic syntax and data types for C#. We're going to look at flow control examples. We're going to look at arrays and collection handling. We're also going to look at a little bit of object-oriented stuff, basically just how to make a class, which is surprisingly different from language to language. It's definitely different from how we're doing it in Golang, if you were following that stream. And then we're going to look at the use of linQ for data querying. linQ is it's basically like how we have callback methods for like filter and map for JavaScript. It's kind of similar. It's in a similar class as that. Then we're going to look at Lambda expressions and anonymous functions. And then we're going to look at how to deal with packages with just a simple package for serialization of JSON. Just real simple. And then the structural thing we're going to look at the end is how do we take this application and then how do we take this and make it into some type of executable, right? Like if I spend all my time making this cool app, how do I package it up so that a person could run this independent of having to type in these commands in the terminal? And that makes our application portable and downloadable for people out there who may want to enjoy the fun. Okay. And so that's going to require us to make a task, which will allow us to store a command so we don't have to type it in manually every time we want to do that. So this features project structure and building the project. This is basically our agenda for today's stream. Okay, it looks like our stuff has installed here. And let's go ahead and give our IDE a little refresh. So I just do Command-Shift-P and type in reload. I like to do that after a significant install because VS Code can be pretty buggy. And I'd rather not. You know what I'm saying? Get somebody else to do it. I'd rather not do all of that today. Okay. So, yes. So, one thing that you might find useful is the actual tutorials. And I find that Microsoft has done a pretty good job of making things pretty accessible. In fact, I'm going to show you what I did. I went to this learn part here. If you click this, it'll bring you to this page. And you can see a couple of different example projects that you can make with just the basic setup. So we're going to click console. And that's what we're going to do today. We're going to make a console application. Okay. So we should be able to do Command-Shift-P and do .NET. And we should be able to do new project. And from here, we're going to click Console App. And we're going to call our app Getting Started. I'm going to do lowercase. I don't know like what the conventions are because I'm new. And then we're going to set the default directory to this folder for this repo that I'm already in. And then it's going to go ahead and put in the basic assets in here for me. Now, one thing that this does not have is a, what's it called? A git ignore. We might want that because there could be like other things going on in here that we may not necessarily want to end up on GitHub. So what I like to do is just type in free git ignore, and let's just type in .NET or C#. There are a lot of people out there who will actually just make git ignore, like generic git ignore files, and it's always nice to just use those instead of having to make your own every single time. I don't know if there's one for C#. I tried to find one like one of the recommended built-in ones that kind of comes with GitHub, but I didn't see it there. So ABCD is .NET in here. It's not. Maybe someone else has it. Maybe someone else got one. Let's see. Let's just kind of search around. I don't know who this person is. What's this? Oh, okay. So there's a Visual Studio git ignore. Okay, when you do this kind of stuff, always check out who's the host. Okay, so this seems pretty reputable. Got all these stars, all these forks. Oh, it was in there. I was just looking at the wrong place. It's down in the V's for Visual Studio. Okay, see, you know what I'm saying? That's how you do it. We're going to go ahead and just copy this, make a new file here, call it git ignore, and then we're just going to go ahead and paste. Cool. And there's going to be something else I'm going to add to this later on when I get to the part where I have to build an executable. I'm going to build it in a specific folder, And I'm going to add that folder in here so that it doesn't end up on GitHub as well. So you can see that we've reduced, so far we've reduced this from 15 things down to just 5. And this is looking pretty good. I also want to include this .vs code folder because I don't want that in GitHub as well. I'll make a new section here called MISC, and we'll just do .vis code. VS code. And then slash. So this is going to be everything in the VS code folder. So that's down to that. Okay. Cool. I think we are pretty much good to go. Yeah, I think we got everything that we need right now. So with this, let's do our first commit and just commit this first initialization of the repo. There we go. Step 1, boom, done. Expert mode, over 9,000. Elite status, elite Haxor. Okay, so you can choose to follow any of these tutorials here. What I'm doing today is going to be a console app, but I kind of have my own thing going on. But these tutorials are actually really good. And where I teach, these are the things that we have our students do for them to learn. So yeah, specifically the ASP.NET or ASP.NET is a really good one if you're trying to build a server. So anyways, use this resource. Microsoft makes it really easy to get into this, and they are really good at supporting it. If you have been burned by Java, if you have been scarred emotionally by C++, then come over to the .NET world. It is warm, friendly, and inviting. And you can make all these different types of apps and whatnot with it as well. Okay, so there's a lot of cool stuff here to do. If you want like just a good ecosystem, a good developer community, like just everything is just kind of given to you in a nice little, situation, then this is probably where you want to be. Very different than the Wild West of Node.js. Okay, so that's cool. We're going to really focus on our code now. Let's bring up our terminal here to the side. Actually, let's just use the one inside of VS Code. I got a comment the other day that someone was requesting that as like a nicer experience. Let me just update this. There we go. And there's something happened to my theme. I thought my theme was a different color. How did it not load up as my normal? There we go. I was like, something's weird. Okay, now we got our little baby blue, little blue-green vibe going on. Okay, so back to this. Okay, so now our project is open, and there are a couple things you need to know, that I need to remember. One is, how do you build your project? Building the project will take your code, and it'll take the code and it'll basically put it all together and make it where you can actually run this thing. So we do .NET build. Like that. It did its thing, no issues. And then the next thing we can check and see that it actually built everything into this bin folder here. So this is where everything ends up being. And we can actually run our application by doing .NET run. Just kidding. Well, we might have to debug this here. Ensure project exists. Hold on, little buddy. Nope. Stop. Ooh, child, we might have to come back to this. Okay. So what I was expecting to have happen was by here. Let me stop this. Okay, so let's do .net net run. Oh, I gotta pass the path. Um. Ah, dang. Um. Okay. I think I have to. Oh, you know what I think the problem is? I think I have to give it a path. Yeah. So let's do dash dash project and then give it getting started. Yeah. Okay. So that's what you have to do, I guess. I how did I forget that? Okay. So basically, what this is saying right here is that when I do .NET run, it is in this directory for the repo that I've set up for GitHub, but it is not necessarily available for this command to work unless I were to cd into the get started folder. So we could try that, and then let's try .NET run. Yeah. So here's the thing. Either you're going to cd into the folder that you created, or you're going to basically use a script to make this project outright in your terminal, or you have to pass in the name of the directory where the project is held. Those are your three things. Okay, so write that down, take a note. If you're following the tutorial that they have on their website here, I think they will actually just go ahead and give you the setup for that to not even be an issue. Let me see, where'd it go? Let's check what they got out here. Like, ignore that. Continue. Oh, they're saying not even do it in the terminal. Okay. Okay. And so that's the other way you could do it. If you have a file, so the program.cs is the main file for the application. Once you install those developer tools, you'll have a little thing up here in the corner. This little button looks like a play button. You actually have multiple ones. So you can either run the project, or you can run the code in the file, or you can run it in debug mode. Today, we're just going to run the code, which will just run this one file. And it should run here. I might actually need to do run project associated with this file. Yeah, so that's the one you need to do. I don't like all of that because, as you can see here, this is very messy and also unnecessary for what we're doing right now. So I'm just going to keep it simple, and I'm going to just make sure that I am cd'd into this. So if I do clear and do pwd, I would be able to see where I am, and then I can just do .NET run. I have to cd into the get started folder and then do .NET run. So I would encourage you to just keep it that simple. All the other stuff we don't really need to do right now. When we start bringing in like multiple files and dependencies and having like more complicated stuff going on, then maybe. Okay, so those are the two things. .NET build, that will build our project, and then .NET run from within the directory where the program.cs is. Those are the two things you need to do. Okay, so another thing is that we have this built-in package manager called NuGet, and that is the way that we can get third-party dependencies into our application. We're going to revisit that later on, but there is a process for that as well. And of course, having Git set up. That's something I already did for this repo. Okay, so that kind of gets us to the point now where we can actually start to write some code. So as I previously mentioned, Program.cs is the main file where our code will basically be started. Okay, go away. Okay, so this will be the main file where our code actually gets ran. Let's start off by kind of experimenting with some variables. So let's make a comment here. Program.cs, the main file that acts as the entry point for our program. Let's start with variables and data types. Okay, so C# is a statically typed language, and we can enforce types on variables by putting the type in front. So integer number equals 10, like that. And then we can write a console log, so console dot write line, and then we can put our number here. Let's actually change this to my number. And change it here as well. Okay, so if we run this, we can see that this is not showing up. What did we do wrong here? Console.writeLine, my number. I think that this is wrong because I actually need to do this as a formatted string. So unlike JavaScript, we cannot do this syntax here. So let's fix this. I think we need to do $, and then quotes in here. And then we can do my number, and then we can put my number. And oh, the $sign needs to go on one side. Okay, let's try this again. There we go. Okay, so I'm trying to do this like the JavaScript way. That is the one thing I'll say about being language agnostic. That's the current term I'm using for the fact that I just don't be sticking to one language. But the down point to it is like sometimes you get your syntax mixed up. What I would recommend is going to the description box down below, and you can see that I have some links to some documentation for the language. In fact, the Microsoft website has some pretty good documentation here as well. If we just look up the typing system, we can see here, let's just open up this page. We can see here it has some information for us. Let's look at console. Let's see what we get. We need the console.write method. Console.write. Okay. There's also this book that I found called The Yellow Book that I think it's supposed to be like really good. It's come up a lot when I've researched. But here we have some examples. What I'm looking for is like, how do you format a string with variables? Interpolation. Let's just do a DuckDuckGo search. String interpolation with C#. There we go. Okay. So what it says here is that we put the $sign in front of the strings, in front of the quote, and then we can give it variables inside of curly braces, which is basically what I just did. So that's nice. Yeah. In fact, I'll put a link to this inside of my comments here. By the way, if you want to see your comments show up as colorful like this with the way that I'm going to do my comments today, you can just download the Better Comments extension here by just typing in Better Comments. And just this first one that shows up. This is the one that I use. So it'll get you these colorful formatted comments because I love to use that when I take notes in my code. Okay, let's just put a note here. Let's just do star string interpolation. Another thing, by the way, that I like to figure out pretty early is like, what's the comment convention? A lot of the C-based languages have very similar comment styles with either the double slashes or the slash star. I just don't want to assume. So this is how we could do a multi-line comment here. Sometimes that's nice as well if you want to have like a lot going on like this. That would also work as well. In fact, let me go ahead and switch to that because I may want to write multiple notes for the variables and data types section here. I'm one of those people that I love multi-line comments. I don't know what it's about it. It's not like it makes me better than anyone else in the world, but it's my zhuzh. Okay, so this is string interpolation. Let's go ahead and put a star here to change the color. Boom. Okay. So that's cute. The next thing that we want to do is we want to look at a string. So text equals, and then we do the double quotes here. We can say hello world, and then let's go ahead and do a double, and let's just do the number pi. So 3.14159. That's about as many digits as I'm going to remember. And then let's do a boolean. Bool is I love Mater Dev. I keep calling my own YouTube channel the wrong name. I feel like I need to make a joke out of that because otherwise it's going to be pathetic. Okay, so that's going to be true because, you know, we all love some Mater development. We all love the little mice and cheese and all the arts and stuff, you know what I'm saying? Console.writeLine. And then we're going to do our $sign and then our double quotes because this is going to be another interpolated string. We're going to say, let's just call this greeting instead because I might want to use the word text later on. I hate using generic words because I feel like if you get in the habit of using generic words, you're going to have a lot of competition in your code for those words. But if you use more specific words, then you will have less competition usually. So we're going to put greeting, comma, my favorite number is I, period. Also, it is I love, I'm just going to copy and paste this. See, I'm not getting any kind of like auto completion. Don't do me wrong. Also, it is true that I love Mater Dev. Okay, so I've made a sentence out of these three different variables. Let's go ahead and run our application again. I'm going to put a line break after these as well so that my terminal looks nice and spacious. So let's go ahead and run this again. Cool. So I can see here my number is 10. Hello world. My favorite number is 3.14159. Also, it is true that I love Mater Dev. And that right there is how you do it. That's it for today. No, I'm just kidding. We got some more to do. Okay, so that's variables, data types. We can go here to the documentation and we can see that there are a number of different data types. Integers, strings, doubles. Doubles are for like decimals. You can even make your own custom types. We won't spend too much time with this today. My approach is not to try to memorize all the types. My approach is to remember where I can go to look to figure out what they are as needed, right? I don't think that trying to memorize everything is a good approach, but being resourceful to me is much better for you. So this right here, these are all the value types here. I can see we got numerical types here, enum, what else we got here? Somewhere in here we got like other ones. Reference types, object, string, array. Yeah, all of these. So if you are not sure about the types or whatever, this will be probably a great resource, a great page to save. This right here. One thing that is funny though is that this page is referencing the 7.0 specifications. I don't know if that is an accident or if it's intentional, but nothing about this page has like any type of toggle for me to change the version. Also, I would just surmise that version 7 is not entirely different, but it's just interesting that here it says C# 8 draft specifications, but then here it says C# 7. Somebody should probably send them an email, but I'm not doing it. Not today. I don't have time. No, thank you. I love that for someone else. Okay, so we've been at this for 38 minutes. So let's do one more quick little thing with flow control, and then we'll take a little break, and then we'll come back, and then we'll finish up the second half of this, and then keep it pushing, keep it groovy, keep it Gucci, Versace, Prada, and all of that. Brands I cannot afford, but that's a different topic for another time. Okay, so now let's move on, and we're gonna do flow control structures. Really, we're going to look at just two: if else, which is just your basic logic for if else basically, and then we're going to look at the for, which is our basic loop. So if else, this is like almost basically the same as JavaScript. There's almost no difference. So it'll be if. This is like mostly the same in a lot of languages, to be honest. So if my number is greater than 5, if it is, then we'll do console.write line, and we'll say my number, my favorite. I cannot spell favorite. There we go. Number is greater than 5. One thing I'm realizing as well is how much I don't like semicolons. Something about that just don't sit right with me. It's like, why? For real, like why would you treat the saints this way? Why would you treat the blessed this way? Saying, why would, out of all the good I've done in the world, why would you do me like that? But then I just kind of pull it back a little bit and just accept it because there's nothing I can do. Okay, so else we will console.write line, and then we will do my favorite number is less than 5. Okay, so one thing to know too, so since this is me studying, y'all are seeing how I actually study in all these videos, really. It may not be obvious. It's probably obvious, but in a day and age with AI, there is nothing wrong with using it to learn because it is literally not. You're not seeing anything that you wouldn't find in a tutorial, and like that part's cool, gravy. I use a little bit of it myself, but I would say no matter what you do, type the code out yourself if your goal is to learn it. If your goal is just to make something and to get something running and like you don't care about nothing else, that's fine. But if your goal is to be able to say, I am a programmer who programs, who really gets it in, really does the work, you know what I'm saying, who can really get busy with it. If that's your goal, well, it's not everybody's goal, but it's my goal, then at least type out the stuff in your computer. Because by doing that, you're going to have the same code as if you copied and pasted, albeit. However, the difference is that you're going to make mistakes, and those mistakes are going to result in some type of learning. If you are the kind of person that goes down the rabbit hole and follows those mistakes and Google's whenever something is awry, you know, and which you should, if your goal is to learn. If you just copy and paste, you'll make fewer mistakes, and then you'll be less used to dealing with code that's broken. And dealing with broken code is a huge part of being a developer. In fact, as I tell my students, being a developer is all problems. If you're trying to avoid them, you're not really engaging in the cycle, the life cycle of actual programming. That is just my belief. That's what we're doing over here. I don't know how y'all do it where y'all from, but that's what I'm going to stick with. Okay. Okay. So that was my soapbox. You owe me 32 cents for that. Thank you. And I take Zelle, Cash App, and cash. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do here is the for loop. For loop also, for loop is as old as time. This is like the old dinosaur program. If you can't do a for loop, then just follow along. I'm not even going to say nothing bad about you. So we're going to say we have to initialize our index variable first of all, and we're going to start it at 0. And then we're going to say while I is less than 5, and then we're going to iterate. Oops. We're going to iterate I. Every time this loop happens, we're going to increase it by 1. Excuse me. And then we're going to just do a console log. Oh gosh, it is not log. This is C#. It is write line. You know, it's just like every language has its own way to log something in the console. And I'm like, why don't we just come up with a universal formula? You know what I'm saying? If someone was wanting to invent something, make a universal console logger, or at least just go to every language and be like, hey, do it this one way. There's no need for all these shenanigans, confusing people for no reason, just spreading chaos. It's not how you should live your life. Okay, so loop, iteration, and we'll just say here I. So we're going to basically have a console that has all the numbers for all the loops in here. So these are our two flow controls. We got if-else statement, and we have a for loop. And let's go ahead and make sure that we have some type of line in between these as well, just to keep our console clean. There we go. So let's go ahead and run our code. And we can see here we have my number is greater than 5, which it is. It's right here. It's 10. I was about to say my number is like, I wrote this console log wrong because this should really be my favorite number. But let me just change this to my number to be the actual variable so that I am not confused, so that you're not confused. I'm good. It's really you that I'm worried about. Are you good? Because I'm good. Okay, we good. Cool. Well, no problem at all, right? I'm just kidding. I get confused more than anyone else, so I like to have things have the same particular names and whatnot. It needs to be clear. So my number, Let's go ahead and change this to a number that's less than 5. We should see the opposite message pop up here. Okay, so this is great. Yeah, perfect. Perfectamundo. Okay, so that's flow control. Okay, so it's been about 46 minutes. We're going to take a quick break just for whatever length of time it takes me to make myself a good old protein shake. That could be 5 minutes. It could be 7 minutes, but I ain't gonna leave you too long. Okay, so just give me a quick moment. You should also get up and take you a little break to go stretch. You know, what I'm saying do a meditation or do whatever you need to do. Refresh yourself. We all about sustainability, balance over here. So let's not do too much. Okay, I'll be right back. Don't you leave me. Oh, what's up? Oh, what's this? What you want to know what this is? This ain't got nothing to do with you. In fact, this mind your business. I know I said I was gonna get a protein shake, but you need to mind your business and stop judging. Someone at work encouraged me to have a miniature cupcake. Just one. I had three of them, and then I went to the store and bought a whole box. But you know what? It's the holiday season, so don't judge me. Judge yourself first. Let me live my life. Mind your business. And you know what the worst part about these things are? It's one bite for me. I don't know about you. This is just one bite for me. And we're done. And it's almost like it melts in your mouth. Like I don't know where it went. That's why you eat. That's why you end up having more than one because they designed them. They designed them where as soon as it hits your tongue, it dissolves like cotton candy. It's just enough to make you feel like you done did something, but not enough to make you feel satisfied. That should be a crime. That should be illegal. Why would you do that to me? Anyways, let's get back to this. Okay, so where were we? We were looking at flow control, and now we're going to look at arrays and collections. How do we store data within a more sophisticated data structure? So this is a reference type, and we're just going to look at the array type today, and then we'll maybe come back and look at the other ones later on. So this is a new section 3, arrays and collections. Another way to think about this as well is that we're making an iterable. We're making a data structure that we can iterate over and then do things with, like mapping and all that kind of stuff. So we have to initialize it by declaring the type. This is going to be an array of integers, and I'll call this my number array. Okay, my number array. And then this will be equal to, now one thing that's different from JavaScript is that JavaScript uses these square brackets to hold the items of a set or an array at least. Here we are using the curly braces and then of course the commas. If I try to put something that's not an integer in here, it will throw an error because we have to stick to the type that I have declared, which is everything here is an integer. Okay, so yeah, we can make some different numbers. This is fine. 700, 709. That's fine. Okay, so we got a bunch of numbers here, and because this is an iterable, we can actually do a loop. So for each. So this is another way to do flow control is for each. This is another for loop. So for each, we're going to do int I in numbers. This will get us each of the items that are in this my numbers array. There we go. And then for each of these, we want to do console.writeLine. We're going to do $, and then we're going to say current number from my number array. And we'll call this I. Okay, let's go ahead and run our program now. And we can see here we have the actual numbers. Cool. I'm curious, is there a for of? Okay, there isn't. I was gonna say, I know that there's like a for in. There's a for in and for of in JavaScript. Um, I don't know how. I don't know how you would handle. I don't know how you would get the indexes. Is there? Sometimes you see like a comma here. Um, let's do a Google on that actually. Um, for in C# get index. Is there a short? Okay. So I can do var. Okay, I can just do var. Let's try it. Let's do another one actually down here. Var, and then we need to put like this, and then what is it? Value. So let's do v and I, like that. Cannot infer. Don't lie to me. Oh, we got to do collection. Oh. Well, they definitely ain't making it easy. Um, get enumerator. Oh, okay. So C# is like, we are not having it here. My list dot index of. That doesn't seem like that would work because what if you have multiple things? Um, multiple things that have the same. Okay. So interesting. Okay. It's so interesting. This is something that would be really easy to do with very little code in pretty much every other language I've used. Um, oh, every other high level language I've used at least. Hmm. Okay. Well, yeah, it seems like this right here, this collection dot select and all of that funny business. You know what? Not today. You could, if you want the index so bad, you could just do this. This would be probably a lot easier than the other shenanigans. So we're just going to stick with this and call it a day. Um, so we don't need the second one here. Okay, so that is our array. There you go. That's how you did it. It's done been done. Okay, let's move on. Let's now do a method. Um, we're gonna make a method called display message. I think it's just a function, but we should look it up because it might mean something different by method here. So let's do VS Code functions method, maybe method. It might be a method in the sense that everything inside of a file is really just attached to a object. And so all functions are essentially methods that can be accessed by the file, which itself is an object or represents an object. Um, yeah, I might need to look into that. There's this book though called the C# Yellow book. I want to take a quick look at that. I haven't looked at that in depth like I want to. This is the website here. This book is something you can buy. It is a little bit old, but also C sharp, like the fundamentals have not changed that much anyways. So it is a little bit old, but it is free. You can buy the book on Amazon by clicking the links here. But you can also just go here and right here. That's the free version. And this is from the author, so this is not pirated. Calm down. Okay, let's see. I really don't know what's in here. Do we see methods, page 204? Page 204? Let's go to page 204. It's possible that I might get through this. I'm like, nothing in here is for me. Okay, this is not what I was looking for. LM. Method is a block of code preceded by a method signature. The method has a particular name and returns a value. It may also accept a parameter to work on. Methods are used to break up large programs into a number of smaller units, each of which perform one part of the task. They are used to allow the same piece of program to be used in lots of places in a larger development. If a method is public, it can be called by code. It can be called by code in, I think it's supposed to say, other classes. A public method is how an object exposes its behavior. A message is delivered to an object by means of a call of a method inside the object. So what I can recall from my Java days is that when you have a method is associated with with an object, or like a class rather, and that class can be used to create a new instance if you were to bring it into like another file, basically. And when you create a new instance, you would have access externally to all the methods that are of type public. But if you have them set to type private, then it's only accessible from within the class. So that's like a way where you could choose to expose or to hide certain methods, basically. Now, what I don't see in here is anything that uses the verbiage of function, and that could be because this is an object-oriented language, object-oriented first language. Let's just do a little search. Oh, excuse me. And see what comes up here. Yeah, we're not finding anything. Okay. Okay. So let's just assume that anytime we write something that looks like a function is really a method. And that's just going to be the thing that we're doing with this language. So let's do static. Oh, we got to make a little comment here. This is section 4, and we'll say methods. And we'll do static void display message. And the argument here would be a type string, and it'll be the actual message, like that. We have not put public or private here. So I think, wait, let's go back to method 48, page 48. Oh, the numbers here don't match the numbers up here. Oh, okay. I see what you're cooking. I'm stepping in what you're stepping in. Okay. So public. Okay, so public could go in front of this part where it says static. That's where you could put public. I forget what static means, so I'm gonna have to download this book and probably save it to my iPad, honestly. Let's go ahead and download that and just save that for later. Okay, so we're gonna look up static. Oops. We're gonna look up static. Static items on page 99. Can we type in 99? Will that allow us to go to the page quicker? Nope, it doesn't. Okay, we gotta use our lovely low friction mouse wheel to scroll super fast. Oh, this is probably terrible for your eyeballs. I'm so sorry, forgive me. Okay, so static keyword lets us create members which are not held in an instance, but in the class itself. Okay, the account test has a static member called main. We know that this is the method which is called to run the program. It is part of the class account test. If I made 50 account test instances, they would all share the same main method. In terms of C#, the keyword static flags a member as being a member as being part of the class, not part of an instance of the class. A static member is a member of the class, not a member of the instance of the class. I'm not sure 100% why that matters or what you're telling me, although I accept it as true. But that's how it be sometimes. Sometimes you just gotta let it be like that until you get it. I don't have to make an instance of the account test class to be able to use the main method. Okay. Okay. So if I took static out of here, I'm gonna have to do an experiment here in a second because my code is not running in a class. This is just straight up just running out here with no kind of like coverage, no type of home, no type of boundary. My code is just out here on these console terminal streets with no jacket on. Okay, I don't have to make an instance of account test class to be able to use the main method. This is how my program actually gets to work, and that when it starts, it has not made an instance of anything. And so this method must be there already, otherwise it cannot run. Static does not mean cannot be changed. I think this is time for more parallel. Okay. Members of a class which have been made static can be used just like any other member of a class, but either a data member or a method can be made static. So static just means that it's accessible without the class being used to make a new instance. This is probably a great time to, oh, here's an example. This is probably a great time to just say, by the way, like this is just me. When I code, I try to not depend on an abstract understanding of things, or at least I don't give myself the pressure of like just understanding something just because of the words on the page. Like, to be completely honest, them words, I'm not going to cuss, but just know that there's a cuss word that I can say there. The words here, right? I'm going to get more out of this by actually putting my hands down and coding. Not by, this is going to help me understand to a degree. Tutorials will help to a degree. Watching a video might help to a degree. Ultimately, I'm going to have to tinker with this, and that's where my understanding is going to come from. It's going to come from like that pragmatic, hands-on approach. Okay, let's read this last part here, and then we're going to go back to our actual code here. So perhaps an example of static data would help at this point. Consider the interest rates of bank accounts of customers. Oh, this is giving me trauma. This is giving me PTSD trauma. I'm not even kidding. It sounds like I'm joking, but I'm not kidding. I used to work for a bank. It was terrible. Okay, the customer has told us that one of the members of the account class will need to be the interest rate of the account. which is this, I suppose. In the program, we can implement this by adding another member to the class which holds the current interest rate. Okay. Okay, now I can create accounts and set balances and interest rates on them. Of course, if I want to do I'd make a stuff private. Okay, yeah, cool. But I'm keeping things simple for now. The snag is I've been told that the interest rate is held for all accounts. If the interest rate changes, it must change. Okay, so I get what's being said here. So there might be some property of this object account or this class account that is going to be the same and unconfigurable. It's going to be the same for all accounts. And it's not per account. So this means that I need to implement the change. To implement the change, I'd have to go through all accounts and update the rate. Instead of having to update them on all things that are using this class here, and there's a better way. So instead of calling Rob like this, I could just refer to the class itself and update the rate. So, okay, I see. So the interest rate is a part of the class, not the instance. That makes more sense. Okay, now let's go ahead and play around with our example here. We're not going to get into all of that, but it is good to know. Now, I don't think that this quite fits a situation where we need static for our code here because this is not inside of a class. But just know that that static is really for like this type of use case. And we could have a method that exists on the class and not the instance. So, okay, let's write a console. Oh gosh, autocomplete, you're not helping. Console.writeLine, and then we'll put our message in here. I know what the issue is. My keyboard. Look, my keyboard was not turned on. How am I supposed to see? I got these glasses and the lights low. That's not a good combination. We got her looking crazy. Okay. Right line, message. And we'll put message in here. And then we can call our method down here, display message. And we could say, hey, yo, pick up the phone. That's all I could think of. There's no clever joke behind that. Okay, so let's go ahead and run our program now. And we get the message of, hey, yo, pick up the phone. Now, I want to see what happens if I just take away static. Would that still work? It should. It does. The void part here, that's just because this does not return anything. Otherwise, I would need to declare my return type, which I don't have one. So I think we're good. I think we're good on that. Let's actually make a class now. Let's make an actual class. I'm giving y'all some ASMR with this protein drink. That's just what we're doing. Okay, number 5. We're gonna do classes and objects. We're gonna make a class called person. Actually, let's make a class called mouse. Because, you know, we do mousy things over here. And that's a good thing. Y'all better stop taking the name of a mouse in vain because mice are awesome. I used to have a pet rat and I had some guinea pigs and I want to have a pet mouse because mouse are the new thing. Rodents are great pets. Public. String. And we're going to give our pet a name. And we're going to make sure that this pet has a get and a set. A getter and a setter. A getter and a setter will basically allow me to add the name and also retrieve the value as needed. Name must contain non-null value when exiting existing in a constructor. Ooh, what did I do wrong? Oh, I know what I did wrong. Um, no, I don't know what I did wrong. I probably need to use this for something actually. Let's do public void introduce. So we're making a method, a public method that can be accessed on the outside. And then we'll just make this do a console dot write line and dollar sign. Let's put a little message in here. My mouse. Oh my god, autocomplete. Stop. Or let's just do mouse name. Name. Did that? Oh, that didn't clear anything up. What's going on here? I don't want that to be required though. That's the only thing. I don't want it to be required. That's the only thing. Do I have to make it required? Okay, I could do nullable, it says. Maybe that has to be lowercase. Well, let's look it up. So nullable, public string on class C#. I love how I just come here and I just click the very first thing. I'm so advanced. Oh, is it a question mark? It's like a safe navigation operator in other languages, but is that what I'm supposed to do? String? Oh, is it because I declared it type string? No. Nope. Okay. So that works. That means it's not required. Oh, that's cute. I like that. That's cute. Okay, so if you don't put the question mark, it is not nullable. I like that. That's cute. I've never seen that in a language before. Okay, so we got an introduction. Okay, let's go ahead and make a new mouse. Let's say that this variable we call mouse, and or type mouse, and we'll say that this is just my new pet, or my mouse, equals new mouse. Like that. Got a new mousey mouse. And then, what is this telling me? Top level statements must precede namespaces and type declarations. Okay. Let's say mouse, my mouse dot name equals squeakers. What are you doing? Top level statements must precede namespaces and type declarations. Well, let's go ahead and copy this and put it in the Google. I'd be afraid to click on Reddit and stream. I'm not doing that. You never know what you're going to get. Okay. Oh, you got a lot of code going on here, man. Um, oh, you know what? This might not work because oh, I might have to put this class up top. I feel like that's what it's telling me. Yep. It doesn't like that I'm putting it next to the thing. Um, Let me just go ahead and put a comment here. So classes must be declared at the top of the file before. Oh, what's this? It's not mine. Wait, hold on. I broke it. So I took it from there. Oh, I gotta add a semicolon down here. So I'm taking it from here, and I'm just gonna pop it up. Right here. But now this doesn't like that. Oh, does it want me to put it down here? Oh, you don't like me doing nothing. Jesus. Okay. Picky, picky, picky. How should I do this? You know what? I want to off screen ask ChatGPT shamelessly. This is the first time I'm going to use it, and it's okay. Sometimes it be like that. I'm just going to do it. I don't care. Judge me if you want to. I'm not going to do it on screen though. You know what? Maybe I should. Here, give me a second. Let me make a new chat here. Yeah, this might be a good thing to show. So I'm gonna make a new chat here, and I'm gonna take my whole file here. I'm gonna take it back to the state that it was before I move things around. So this, and I also noticed that I had this here. I don't need that line. And I'm just gonna copy my whole file since it is relatively small. And I'm gonna say debug. Oh, I could probably use Copilot. What do I want to do? Let's just use Copilot. That's probably a little neater. Copilot. Start inline chat. Yeah. Let's see what it says. If this doesn't work, I'm gonna use ChatGPT. I prefer ChatGPT, honestly, but you know, this is built in. Oh, we should have a main method. Ah, okay. Yeah, we should have a main method. I'm not going to let it do it for me, but that's a good, that is actually, that makes sense. So we don't need ChatGPT, I don't think. So let's just look up C sharp main method. I think I could just do this main class main. and then like this. I think I can take all of this code here and put that in here. Does that work? It's saying console does not exist. Oh man. Let's try this one. Okay. So it's telling me that I can't. Oh, that does work now. Okay. Okay. So now this is saying that. So I probably need to define this class for mouse out here. Ooh, excuse me. Okay, so that's good. Oh, nope. Something broke. Well, dang. Okay, this might be the point where I need to start bringing different things around different places. Let me comment out. Um, Let me comment out this stuff here first of all. Let's see if our application still runs with the dot main. I don't know what it means by main is not being used. I don't know if that means that hmm. I'm really just futzing around right now, to be honest. Um, let's try this. Let's go back to this page, to the .NET website. And let's look at the tutorial for the console app. And okay. Edit your code, next steps. Maybe we don't want to do that one. Um, let's do. I really just want to see like a good example of what the code looks like for an app that. Hmm. The temptation. Okay. I might just give in and I'm just gonna give in and just copy this and put this in ChatGPT. Be like, hey boy, just help me out, bruh. So chat. Oh gosh, I shouldn't have closed that page. Let me do this off screen and I'll bring it back in. Oh, that's actually an art thing. There we go. Okay, so let's just copy all of this and just say, help fix this and also explain what you did and why. And we'll do triple backticks and we'll just let it know that this is a CS file, which stands for C#. I'm reluctant to do this, but I think it can help. The main thing when you use AI to help you with coding or anything you're trying to learn is you need to engage your active recall. You need to also go through the effort of like really understanding what it's doing so that you're not walking away with a superficial understanding of things. And then what I'm going to do, I'm actually going to refactor this manually instead of just copying and pasting my code here. So that's also going to help as well. Okay, so let's refactor this and then take another break. So your CS or your C# code snippet has a few issues that need fixing. Here's a breakdown of what needs to be changed and why. Namespace and class declaration. C# programs typically require namespace and a class declaration. Your code snippet is missing these. These are essential for structuring the code and providing scope for the main method. Okay. Okay, I did not do that part. So let's go up here and we'll add a namespace. And I'm going to call this namespace getting started. Cool. And we'll just make sure everybody is included in this house party. And I think we're good. Yes. Okay, and then the next thing that we need to have is a class called program. Wait, let's see. The main method should be enclosed within your class. Okay. We need to put this in a class. Okay. Let's bring you little curly brace up there, and then we'll do class program, and then we'll bring you down here like that. Format maybe? Can I get a little format here? It's not like it's something I'm doing here. What's wrong? Oh, am I forgetting a curly brace? I'm not. Am I forgetting a curly brace? Oh, I probably can't define a class inside of a class. That might be the issue. Yeah, it doesn't like that. It don't like that. Okay. I learned something. I learned something new. Or I have to, if I define a class, it has to be outside of the, maybe. Maybe if I move this code here down here, like that. I think that would work. Oh, maybe I didn't move it far enough. It needs to be here, I think. A namespace cannot directly contain members such as fields. Uh, hmm. Hmm. Okay. Well, let's go back to our guide and see what's in here, and then we'll just figure it out as we go. So this looks all cool. This is all the same. I'm just looking at this straight line here. This, oh, excuse me. Display message. Okay. That's so weird because it's like literally what I have here. A sanity check that I can do. I don't like doing this, but let me just copy this and just quickly see if this is even valid. Yeah, it's not even valid. Okay, so let's see what else it says here. I low-key despise doing chat GPT learning in stream. I feel like that is like, it's kind of ick. Okay, use directives. It's a good practice to include necessary directives at the top of your file for namespaces that code will use, such as system. And am I using system in here for anything? Like, why would I need that? Let's see if it does anything. Do you even do anything? Yeah, I don't need that for anything. Like, why? This is the thing about these AI things is like sometimes just not even taking too seriously. Um, okay, so new mouse. I think we need to do like name equals squeakers. I think it's wanting us to do that. Uh, like that. New mouse name. Oh, these need to be curly braces. And there we go. There we go. Okay, I still got one problem here. Type or namespace definition or end of file expectation. Do I need like another line here? What does that mean? Um, what? Chicken butt? Does my program even run? If this runs, I'm gonna be mad. No. I don't know what that error message means. Let's just type this in. Well, let me do my mouse dot introduce first. What is that saying? My mouse does not exist in the current context. What are you talking about? I literally. This is so weird. This is so weird. I feel like it just does not like me using I exist in current context. Yeah, I feel like it just does not like me doing all of this, to be honest. This might not even be like the pattern. Because when I've done Java, at least in the past, you do a separate file for the class, for each class that you're trying to do. That's how I've experienced it in the past. Let's see if our program even runs. Okay, it does run. Let's make a new file. So, let's call this mouse.cs. And we can take this here format. And we can say that this namespace is getting started. And then can I do this? I think I can do that. Okay, so that worked. So let's just add a comment here to write our learning. So preferably, or let's say could not get declaration of a class within a class to work. So moved mouse to mouse. That's yes. Okay. Let's make one more method here. Let's say, let's do a private method. So void, or this will return a type string, and this will call emoji. And okay, so it's unused. That's fine. And this will return just a string, and it'll be a little squeaker. And I'm going to use, this is a private method, so I'm going to use that inside of my introduce. So we're going to put emoji like that. So this will mean that our displayed message will have the emoji here. But if we try to call emoji out here, it will not work. It will not work. It'll give us an error. Okay. Cool. Introduce is a public method, which means it can be called outside of the class. And then we'll say here, emoji is a private method, so it cannot be used outside of the class. Then the other thing we're going to do is the static thing. So we're going to do static. Let's do it up here. Let's say static string and we're going to give this mouse a password, or let's just say a secret code. And the secret code is going to be, we're gonna have a get and a set. I think I could do that. Maybe we just need to set to equals. Let's just do equals 8675309. This is a string, or int. Let's make it an int. And I'll say, let's make a new method here and call this public void code. And let's make this secret code private so our person cannot call it, but we can only get access to it by calling this method here called get secret code. And this will console.writeLine, and then we'll just put the secret code here. Secret code. Whoops, I did that wrong. Okay, so we can call this method to get this private value. Oh, we forgot this part here. Okay. So now we can do my mouse dot secret get secret code, and let's run our app again. So our secret code is showing up here, and then if we try to do my mouse. Oh, let's make a new mouse first. So let's make my other, and let's name this one Geekers. So Squeakers and Geekers, and let's do my other mouse dot introduce and my other mouse dot get secret code. Let's run that real quick. Also, let us add some. Let's add like some line breaks here, because this is getting really squashed, really squished and squashed. Let's just do it right here. Console.write line. Cool. So if I make this secret code public, which it shouldn't be, but I can do that, and then I were to go here and change, I do mouse dot secret code equals 10. Then the secret code for these should be, well, first of all, let me update my thing here, console message here, so these can show us which is showing what on the console. So secret code for name. Okay, so since I'm doing mouse.secret code, it'll change the secret code for both my mice instead of it being what I had inside of my my class definition. Okay, so let's run that. And we can see here is 10. So what this is doing is this is updating the secret code for all mice. In fact, I could probably set this to nullable here and then just not assign this. Can I do that? I just have to do it like this. So this value only gets set. This value only will get set outside of the. This will only get set when the. How would I describe this? This value will only get set manually when mouse is used. Okay. That means I can update this code anytime I use this mouse to make new mice. Cool. Well, wasn't expecting it, but we did learn something here. We learned that if we want to declare classes, well, first of all, we learned that this structure for the namespace, this is what allows us to use classes between files as long as they share the same namespace. We also learned that the main class for the program to run should be program, and then we can have method of main, which is the thing that will be ran automatically. It's like the entry point for our whole application, and then we can just simply bring in these other methods as we need into this main file. So this is a better structure than what I was doing when I started. I don't know why I did it the other way. So we can close that ChatGPT thing. Let's get rid of that. And I think it's time for us to take another. Let me look at my agenda here. Yeah, let's take another break. When I come back from this break, I'm going to do some stuff with the language integrated query, which is just very similar to like filter, reduce, map in JavaScript. I have some examples to go through that, and then we're going to look at Lambda expressions, and then that'll basically be all for Lambda expressions, and then we're going to look at package. That'll be all for the actual coding part. So we're kind of like at the 1/3 mark of this, I think. But we'll know. We'll know when we get there. So hold your horses, take a seat, get a breather, get some water, go meditate, do what you need to do. I'll be back in, let's say, 10 minutes. I'll catch you then. Hey, what's up? What's up? I got another cupcake here. That's just what we doing tonight. Happy holidays. I don't know if you're supposed to do a cheers or a toast with these, but cheers. You should get you one of these. Get you one of these. This right here is a meal fit for a king, a kingdom. Mm, mm, mm. Oh my God. It's so good. Okay, let's go ahead and jump back into this. So let's do it. Let me close LinkedIn. Got all my business up there. Okay, so let's get back to this. What we got going on here? We were working on classes and objects. Then we did some restructuring to make this actually fit the way that this needs to be organized for my app. Now, the next thing, let me look at my notes here. The next thing we need to do here is let's look at the language integrated query. So let's format this. Okay. So number 6, language integrated query, which is also known as LINQ. I guess that's pronounced link. How clever. How clever. Did you come up with that by yourself? How clever. You're so smart. Microsoft. Okay, so we're going to do this based off of the numbers variable that I created up. Where is it at? Right here, my number array. We're going to use that. So we can do var. Well, first, let me start off by explaining what the link is. So if you've ever used JavaScript, you know that we have certain callback functions that exist as methods that are accessible through the data types, right? So for example, if we do JavaScript map, you can see here that we have a dot map. Where is it at? Where is it at? Where is it at? This is not what I want. Here we go. You can see that we have a dot map function, and this dot map function allows us to give it some type of behavior to do as it iterates over these numbers, right? We also have a dot filter as well. Here it is. Dot filter is similar. It'll iterate over all of the different items in this array, and then it will take a condition, and this condition will return a new array with only things that satisfy this condition. We also have, what else do we have? For each could be used similarly to map. We have reduce. So reduce will perform some type of thing like subtraction, for example, and it'll allow us to do that for everything and then return the final value. So we have a bunch of different things that we can do as behaviors that involve iterating over all of the items in some type of set or array or data structure, and then that will basically help us to write code that is slimmer and faster, and also to access data. Like a bigger data structure, we could access some subset or do something to the subset. So hopefully that makes sense. I'm going to basically give some examples here. I'm going to do it the link way, and I'm going to tell you what the JavaScript version is as I do this. So the first one is going to be called where, and this is similar to JavaScript.filter. So We're going to do this for getting the even numbers. So we're going to create a new array of only even numbers from my, yeah, just like, we're going to say it like that. We're just going to put a sub comment here and say all following examples are using my number array. Okay, so this first one we'll create a new array of only even numbers. So the way we do this is we make a new variable, so var even numbers equals my number array dot where. This is kind of like, I guess this is maybe taking some inspiration from SQL, it sounds like. So where, and then we can do N stands for the thing, for the item, each time this goes over them. And then we can do, I don't know if this actually is looping on the inside, by the way, so you can ignore that part, I suppose. We should look into that at some point. So where N modulo 2 equals 0. So we're saying here, if this thing can be divided by 2 with the remainder of 0, then we want to include it in this new array that's being created. So we'll do a console dot right line and we'll say even numbers. And I think we're good to go. Let's also add an extra line here so that our console is a little cleaner. Like that. And even numbers system. So I think this worked, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure that this is doing what I wanted it to do. Oh, I have to cast this as a certain data type. Let's cast this as int. Cannot convert method group cast into. Oh, maybe I meant to invoke the method. Maybe. Maybe that's what I meant. Do I have to give it a type here? How does the cast work? I actually wasn't expecting to have to do that. Dot cast C#. Oh, can I put this at the end? So, int array. Convert Oh, it has to go at the beginning. I've never seen that before. Okay. What if I did it without the parentheses? Would that still work? Nope. Okay. So when we do this where, we have to make sure. I wonder why though. Like, what is this? Okay, let's see if this actually works. Maybe I have to do int 32 instead of int. Able to cast object. Oh, hmm. Let's go back a little bit. What does this give us? System.link.enumerable. And this is where array iterator. I don't think I know what that means. I don't think I know what that means. It's not broken. It's just not doing the thing. What if we accessed one index here? What is an enumerable? I think I might need to wait, convert to array. Best way to convert iList to enumerable array. Dot to array. Does that work? I don't know. Enumerable. Yeah, I should be able to do that. So bar, or let's do even numbers. Dot to array. And then put even numbers here. That should work. It didn't work. Even numbers equal. So it doesn't like me playing around with this type, so how about that? Okay. Please work. Okay, we get somewhere. Now, it's saying here that I can iterate, which is fine, but I don't know why I need to have this as a regular array, to be honest. I have no clue why I need to do that. Maybe this is something to come back to later on. So let's just see if our for loop works. So I can do a for each. Yeah, for each, and then we'll do int, and we'll do number in even numbers. This maybe needs to be a, oh, okay. Do, 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 do. And actually we need two console logs. Let's do one up top here, like that. And then we'll make this tabbed in. And then like that. Just for proof of concept, let's just put my number array here. Like that. So we'll see it before we see my number array. Oh, okay. So you cannot console log an array just plainly in the console. Oh, and oh, we might have to stringify it. Maybe that's the problem. We could try this. Okay, that works. Let's put a space. Oh, so wait, would this work? If I put that here, oops. If I take this string.join thing and I put even number inside of there instead of um, oh, that does work. Okay. Um, so we can say here that in C sharp we cannot, at least as far as I know, we cannot directly print an array to the console. It must be stringified. We can still access the numbers at the indexes and log them. Yes. Okay. So that's cool. Was not expecting that to, you know, do what it did, but that's what happened. So that's cool. Okay. So what next? We're going to do. We can do math over each thing as well. So we could have like this array of numbers here, and we can do uniform mathematical operation over each of them and then return a new array that has the same numbers except the results of those the operation. So for example, we'll do var squared numbers equal my number array dot select and this is similar to the dot map, by the way. Actually, let me do my comment here. So this is select and similar to js.map. So create a new array with some transformation over all the numbers, over all the items. Okay, so we'll do dot select, and then we'll give it a formula. So n, we give it an arrow function actually. So n, where n times n. So this will effectively square each number, and then we can do a console log down here, and then we can do squared numbers. So there we go, boom. Okay, the next example is order by, and order by descending. I'm assuming that there's an ascending as well. In C sharp. Oh, you know what? I'm tripping. Order by is ascending. Order by is ascending, and order by descending is descending. So this is similar to JS, the sort method. Yeah. These are not exact matches, but it's the closest thing. So we can do var sorted numbers ASC. So that means ascending equals my number array dot order by. And then for this, we just do in arrow function in. And then we can do the same thing for the descending one. Let's just call this DESC, order by descending. And then we can console log these as well. And then let's do another one for the descending. Let's go ahead. We should see them in reverse order of one another. So ascending and then descending. For ascending, to easily remember that, remember the shape of the A. It's like a pyramid with a small number at the top going down to the big number. So like a pyramid. And then think about the descending as being an upside down pyramid with the big number at the top and the small number at the bottom. You know? Yeah. Okay, so there's a bunch, by the way. I can't go through all of these. Let me do two more. And then I'm gonna call it a day with this, and then, you know, later on, if you want to do more, that's great. I love that for you, but I gotta move on. So the next one I'm gonna do is this one here is called group by. I need to look this one up actually. When I was making my notes earlier, it said group by to create something with parity, and I'm like, okay, that sounds cute or whatever, but like, what does that mean? So what does this say? Group by method. So produces groups that contain the group keys. Okay. I need a simple example. Okay, so it's making subgroups. I'm curious to see how this works, to be honest. Let's just jump into it and see. So this is group by, not group on. I don't think that there is a JavaScript method that's built in to do this, from what I know. So we're gonna skip that part. Let's do var grouped by, and then number, or let's do my number array dot group by, and then we have end arrow function. I'm trying to make a group for odd and for even, basically. So n modulo 2 and 0. And then let's just take a console log here. I'm curious to see what this gives me. This could totally be a sham. I'm not even going to hold you. Hopefully not. Oh. Oh, wrong command. Okay, so I can see that I have two different groups here. What happens if I do the 0th in, oh, nope. How do I deal with this though? Um, I have group keys, grouping 2. I can see here that it did something. It created 2 groups here, but I can't see how to actually access these separately. So this is a close example. Oh, this is a SQL example. This is not what I want. I want the group by function. Or method. I keep calling them functions. Group by. So pet age. Let's look at our handy dandy cheese book. So group by. Is it in here? Oh, it's not in here. It's not in there. Okay, let's. I'm not really digging the Microsoft documentation, to be completely honest at this point. So let's try the Google. So group by C#. I might be doing it wrong too. Non-query expression, group by. Basically, the contents of the group, when viewed as enumerable type, is a sequence of whatever values were in the projection P car. Okay. Ooh. Okay. Yep. Love this blog. Not for me. Not for me, buddy. Okay. So I need like real basic example. What if I do two lists? Does that do anything for me? Yeah. Is that what I want? Okay, so that's the first list. These are the odd numbers. And then let's say even, or I'm sorry, odd, short-term memory. And then if I do this even, this should be the first. Okay, yay! Okay, that's what I really want. I honestly could stand to learn a lot more about how this group by thing works. All I wanted to accomplish today was just to be able to see that it works and to see that this is good. I want to try one more thing. I'm going to make this into a modulo 3. I just want to see what happens if I have something that and let's see how many indexes are on here. Let's see if there's a third one. Two. Oh, there isn't. Let's add a number in here. Let's add 33 because I know that will. Let's add 33 and 9. Nope. Index was out of bounds. So I wonder. I don't know how that works. Oh, you know what? It is probably taking all numbers that are divisible by 3 and putting them in one group, and all numbers that are not and putting them in the other group. Yeah, that's what it's doing. Except I don't see the 9 in here. And 9 is definitely divisible by 3 without a remainder. Oh, I deleted it. Not bad. Okay, there we go. Okay. Okay, we'll try. I'm gonna have to come back to this one. I'm gonna have to come back to that one. This is not tonight. Okay, not tonight. Okay, let's do aggregate, and then after that, we can go back and we do aggregate, and then we can look at just bringing in a simple package, and then taking a look at how that works, and then we basically done. Minus some build stuff. We'll take a little break, and then we'll do the build stuff after that. It's been like 2 hours and 43 minutes. Oh my goodness. I've been here forever. Y'all. Oh my goodness. Okay. Oh my gosh. Aggregate. And this is similar to, I believe it's similar to reduce. It's got the accumulator, all that stuff, all that good stuff. This is reduce is probably one of my weakest things. I barely ever use reduce in JavaScript, but it's good for like summing. It's good for like summing up numbers and stuff like that. So I would say similar to JS reduce. Okay. So this will be. What we're gonna do is we're gonna take all the numbers in our set of numbers for my numbers array, and we're gonna add all of them up together. So var sum equals my number array dot aggregate, and then we'll do for this is it's also an arrow function. We have an accumulator, so that's the thing that actually stores the numbers every time this happens, or every time this iteration happens. And then we have n, which represents the number in the iteration. And we'll say accumulator plus n. And this accumulator has a default of 0. So we can console log this. Sum of my number array, and then we can just I think this will just be a one number. It should be. What is it saying? Oh, oops. Unterminated string literal. Okay, let's see. I have a feeling that this typing thing is gonna. Oh, it actually didn't bother me. I was about to say, don't play with me today. I got plenty of time. Okay, let's try experiment. I think we can set accumulator to 10. Oh, no, you can't do that. How do I... There's like a way where you can actually set the starting value of the accumulator. Let's see. I know this is like the thing that I have done before with Lodash. Oh, okay. So it's like this. Let's just do 10 like that. So instead of 993, it should be 1003. Okay, so cool. Can provide a number before the arrow or before the callback function to be a seed value. Okay, cool. I think we are done with these link methods here. I'm good on that. I need some space, some personal space, boundaries, all of that. I'm gonna be a trooper though. I'm gonna be a trooper in the sense that I really want to just go ahead and knock out this the portion of this project where we will just do like a simple little JSON stringifier thing, just because I want to come back and like focus only on non C# stuff after this. I want to do more of the .NET stuff and then call it a day. So this next example, or this last example rather, this is going to be number 7, and this will be using a dependency within the code. And for this one, we'll just be doing JSON serialization for an object. JSON serialization for an object. And basically what that means is we're going to turn an object that has some data in it into a string. This might actually have been helpful for this other stuff I was doing here, but I wasn't there yet. And so this is my first time knowing about this. So yeah. Okay. So for this to work, I actually want to use my mouse as an example. We're gonna let's do this inside of the mouse here. And I think what I want to do is, oh wait, nope. I don't want to do it inside the mouse. I want to do it inside of the program. I want to use the mouse. So using my mouse as an example. And my mouse is right here. So I'm going to use this mouse as an example. I'm just going to serialize it and print it, basically. So for this, I need to bring in a new package. I guess they're called packages, a dependency rather. And this dependency is going to be declared as using newtonsoft.json. Never heard of this before. Oh, but there's a way I have to actually get this in my project. I have to do .NET add package newtonsoft.json. This is how this is like similar to npm install, basically. Okay, so now this is available in my code. And then this will make a new method available for me called JSON convert. So this will produce a string. So mouse JSON equals, we use JSON convert. One thing I don't think I'm going to like is how when you import something here, it doesn't give you like a specific namespace identifier, like how you would. What I'm saying is like when you import something in JavaScript, you give it a name, like an alias, and that alias is what everything is accessed through for the most part. You could deconstruct, but you're still making it explicit what you're calling things and using. Here it is not like that. I don't make the rules. Okay, so JSON convert dot, we want to use serialized object, and we want to pass in my mouse. And then we just want a console dot right line, and we'll put my mouse. My mouse JSON. New line. My mouse JSON. JSON Derulo. Okay. Oops, wrong command. Run. And now I can see here that the attribute name squeakers is available, and I'm assuming that it is available because it is public, although I don't see secret code here. Well, what if this was not static? Would it show up? Let me just, I don't know, give it a number. It isn't like this. Let me just. Okay, so I guess if something is static, it will not show. Now you know. So, anyways, squeakers here. We are able to see squeakers informations. That's cool. That's Gucci. That's great. That's awesome. I also want to see if can I do this serialization on. I don't even know if this will work, but let's just do grouped by, just as an example. I don't even know if this will work. If it does, I'm going to do not a backflip, but I'll think about it very hard where you'll see it in my eyes. This could have definitely. Oh my goodness. Okay. Well, that would have been very helpful earlier. That would have been very helpful. Um, and serialize IEnumerable types from link. I think the whole link thing, by the way, is meant to be used with data from a database or that is in a data frame um, in order to give you access to do some chaining, some method chaining that kind of follows similar pattern and syntax or whatever, like language as SQL. That's what I've gleaned. So there's probably a whole rabbit hole there. Okay, so cool. We got this up and running. I finished all my basic goals here. I'm good. I'm happy with this. Are you happy? Are you good? Because I'm good. Let's take a quick break. Actually, let's first commit this first. Let's go ahead and push that. Okay, I'm gonna take a quick little break here. It's gonna be another 10-minute break. It is 2 hours and 56 minutes. That's good. I might do another stream later on. Not like this though. It might be like a boring stream for reading because I really do want to read. Um, But anyways, let's take a break. 10 minutes. I promise I'll be back. Don't leave me. Okay? If you're watching from the future, just go ahead and fast forward. If you're watching now, take a break yourself. Meditate, you know what I'm saying? Stretch out, get a beverage, breathe some cold air. Do what you need to do. And I'll catch you in a little bit. Hey friends, welcome back. If you're new to this channel, my name is Keith. No, just kidding. Okay, let's go ahead and get back into this. We gotta raise the energy up of this place. We can't be doing all that quiet stuff. That's not what we do over here. Except for the boring stream. If you want to see that kind of energy, go watch the boring stream. You can watch me read. You can watch me code. I don't know who would watch that, but help yourself. Over here in this stream, right now, in this place, in this moment, that's not what we're doing. We're going to be energetic and we're going to get after it. Okay, so next thing is next. I want to be able to build my project into an executable file so that it can be ranch and runt. And I want to store this inside of a folder called output that lives at the root level of my project. So let me go ahead and cd out of this. One second, let me just check something. .net run. Okay, yeah, let me go ahead and okay, so the command to do this is .net publish -c. Don't know what that means. Release. We should probably look this up as we do this. Let's look at the .net publish command. I have this command already made earlier because I knew that this was going to be one of them things. It's just like command line interfaces are not a thing to try to guess at. That's for sure. Okay, so -c. What does that stand for? Configuration. Okay. -c stands for configuration. We can close these files. And we can say that this is a release, I guess. By the way, the details for this project are stored in getting started.csproj. I don't know what SLN means. But so this release will be version. I don't have a version here, so we're gonna leave it out and see what happens. And then we have the -o, which stands for output here. So the output directory. We're gonna do /output. That's the folder. It doesn't exist. I don't know if we need to make one or if this will do it for us. We'll see. And then I'll do self-contained. I forget what that means. Oh, we can do SC. I think this means it's just like all inside of one thing. Publishes the .NET runtime with your application, so the runtime doesn't need to be installed on target machine. Okay, yeah, that's what I want. I want this to be a thing where anybody who doesn't even have this development environment set up on their computer can just click this thing and run it. And then we do -r OS X x64. And I believe that is just the target system. -r, what does that stand for? Runtime. Okay, so runtime. So let's see if this works. Okay, we got an output folder here. Ooh. It did something. Now I don't know which of these is the executable. That's the only thing. Give me a second. Let me open this in another window. Let me show you all my business. Um, okay, I know what's happening here. So there's this get started. Um, Let me see the names of the files here. So this right here, this is the executable, this thing right here. And then when I click that, you can see here that it runs the app on my computer in my terminal. There's some other stuff here. I don't know what any of this means. Create dump. Okay. So that's cool. Now, that's awesome. That's fine. It's dandy. That's Gucci, Prada, great. All of that. But my goal actually is to. Oh shoot. Well, first of all, I got to add this output to my git ignore because we cannot be living this 160, 188 file lifestyle. That's not happening over here. So output slash. In fact, let's just delete that and try that again. Why is it not in? Why is it not? Oh, it doesn't have to have a dot in front of it. Cool. Okay. Awesome. Let's just put a name on this too. Output for executable. I don't know what all this other stuff in here is, to be honest. I don't know if all this other stuff is necessary, what it does. I don't know this man. I wouldn't, recognize him if I saw him in public. But we'll figure that out later on. We're just going to keep it simple today. Okay, so we got that. The next thing I want to do is I want to try to make it where there is a task, because having to type out this long command every single time is just going to be a hassle. Let me first document this command in my code here. So let's just say basic code to create executable and /output $. Let's just copy that long command, because I might want to save this for later, or I'm sure whoever is reading this might find it useful. So I don't want to completely get rid of it. Let's do a little preview here. Gosh, the color on this is terrible. It's something terrible. Let's use another one. Let's do we got bearded? We use all good bearded theme. Let's try not that one. That was just a little too bearded theme. I really like coffee, but I use that. I use that at work. I want this to be different. This needs to be special. This might be a little bit of a tangent right now. That's not too bad. That feels like a warm day. A warm summer day. Yeah. Yeah, okay, I like that. Okay, so we saved our command here just in case we need it later on. In fact, let me make this a triple and just put bash here. We gotta do it properly. Just saying. Yeah, let's do it properly. Okay, so .NET publish. Let's get rid of the thing here. Okay. Oh, excuse me. Okay, so we got that. Let's actually move this. Let's move this below the output thing. I feel like that's really something to explain in the context of this here. Actually, let's make a new section. Executable. Yeah. And then we'll just add a new thing to project structure here. We'll say mouse.cs contains the class definition for mouse, including examples of static methods, or static public, private methods, etc. That looks better. Okay. Let's make this a comment. See, I like the colors here, but the way that this is rendering, I mean, it's probably gonna look even more lame in GitHub, which is fine. But yeah. This is the build release. Let's just call this build release. Okay, so the next thing that we need to do, by the way, make sure that if you do this, if you're following along with me, make sure that you're in the root of your project when it comes to your terminal or whatever terminal you're using. Okay, so now we need to make an actual task, and the task is going to give us just a quick and easier way to do this same thing. So we can do this. I'm just going to follow my guide here. Command Shift P, and we type in run task. I'm sorry, we type in task. I think it should give us a way to build a task actually. Wait, I thought I had this in my notes. Oh wait, do I already have this? Here it is. No, that's not it. So in .vs Code, I need to have a file name tasks.json. I thought that there was like a way to have this. I'm tripping. There must be a way. Configure default build task. Configure task. .NET build type process. That's not what I want, but it's nice to know that it could do at least that one for me for free. I want to do a release. Okay, so that doesn't exist. So I can just make my own. This is JSON, and we're gonna say version is 2. Actually, this is version 1. Why won't it let me do version 2? I don't know what that means. Maybe there's different versions of taskiness. I don't really know. Let's just go with it. Actually, no, let's not. Let's look it up. C# task version 2.0.0. What does that mean? Version for tasks. .NET tasks. Versions. I don't know if this is what I'm looking for. Version 2 task. Version? How about tasks.json version? Maybe this is it. Also, I feel like I'm supposed to have some type of panel or something like this for VS. I'm sorry, for C#, maybe. One thing at a time. Okay, so tasks, integrating external tools via tasks. I don't know what the task runner is. I guess that might be a thing that is. Oh, this is interesting. This is similar to what we're doing, but this is for TypeScript. So maybe this is some task runner that is independent of. Maybe this is a VS Code thing. Oh, this is a VS Code thing. Oh, okay. This is a VS Code thing. This is not a .NET thing. Okay. Task. Is there a task runner? Okay, so this is a VS Code thing. I just want to see the interface for this task. Okay, so let's go to this link here. Is this a valid comment for JSON? I thought you couldn't do comments in JSON. I should know this. Oh, turns out you can. I guess it's not one of the things that I try to do. That's funny. Let's format. prettier. Okay, let's go here and see. This is literally the same page. Are you kidding me? How dare you? I'm offended. I'm offended. Let's just do a keyword search for version and see what pops up. Look for the red. Help me find. Can you find the red? VS Code, tasks, version, property. The configurations version number. Okay, I don't even think I know what I'm looking for, but this is nice because this tells me all of what is possible. So let's just save this in here. Tasks, schema. That is kind of nice, although it doesn't help me. I'm trying to figure out like what all versions are available and what for. What do they do? What's different? You know what I mean? Like, what are my options? What are my options for this? Version options. Excuse me. Also, where is this stored? This looks like TypeScript. Maybe I'm like obsessing over something that's not being super useful. I guess my concern is, how do I know I need to use version 2? What is the difference? I can look here and see if there's a version 3. It doesn't appear to be one. I won't worry about it too much right now. This might just be one of those things where I just need to suck it up and chat good to put it. In fact, let me do that off screen really quick. Oh gosh, I wasn't sharing my screen. My bad. So yeah, what I'm looking at here is I'm trying to make this config file for the tasks for VS Code, and this will basically allow me to run my command, my really complicated command, but to do it inside of VS Code as a task rather than having to type it in. And this will hopefully shorten my development process, or at least remove a step that could potentially be really annoying and repetitive. And by the way, I'm sorry I wasn't sharing my screen. I'm just going to leave it, it is what it is. This is a 3-hour stream. I'm not going to trip about it. If someone makes it that far, good for them. Let's do the ChatGPT thing. Why not? Why not? It's been 3.5 hours. I deserve this one time to be lazy. Tell me about the version, property, and tasks.json for .vs code. What are my options? Where are these options documented for reference in case they change? I just want to know if there's how could I get the latest version if there is a version 3? How would I know? Where would I go? How could I, where is that documented? So Okay, I've already found these two. Where is the version releases documented? It might actually just be at the VS Code. Maybe it's in GitHub. It might just be in VS Code's GitHub, honestly. That would make a lot of sense. Um, well, this is theirs for their thing. So, kind of have an idea. I kind of have an idea of what I could do. So I see here that this has an interface of task configuration. That might be useful for, I don't know if there's something in here I can search. I'm getting real into the weeds here. Okay. Oh, so I see here the task version is like basically giving different options. There probably is a task version that is being released somewhere for something. And 2.0.0 is like just one of them. Dang. This might be something to look into later on. I kind of feel like I'm prolonging something that's already pretty lengthy, this stream. Okay, well, oh, what, build? Built-in checksums, Darwin, lib, Linux, Monaco, npm. I don't think this is what I want. Is VS Code made with TypeScript? I don't know why, but I guess I didn't expect that, by the way. Good for them. Good for them. Oh, there's a little Rust in here too. Well, it would be pretty hard to make with just pure Rust, I think. Resources. Okay, I'm not going to trip about it too much. Let's go ahead and write our script. So we have a tasks thing here, a key here, and this is going to be an array of properties, and I'm sorry, it'll be an array, but it'll only have one object in it. I forgot my comma here. And this will have a label. So this is what it's going to be called, basically. And I'm going to call this build release. And the command is going to be .NET. And the type is going to be process. I think it'll be a process. We'll see. That might need to change. And then args are the different parameters. So we got publish. Basically, we're going to use these right here as our args. I just have them off screen. So we got publish. We got -C and release. We got dash O for the output. And then we have output folder. We got self-contained. And we got dash R. I honestly feel like having a make file would be a little easier, a little bit more portable as well. But also, we're gonna do it this way. So R for release is gonna be OSX-X64. Okay, and then problem matcher. I don't know what this line means. You're gonna have to look it up. But there it is, like that. What is problem matcher? What is problem matcher? If you don't have a specific problem matcher for your task, never scan the task output. Blah, blah, blah. What is a problem matcher? First of all, you should understand what the problem matcher is. In the panel beneath your code, there's problems. Oh, okay. So this thing right here. Okay, what is this task? Collates everything into one place and makes it easy to iterate through. If you have different linters you like to run, okay, blah blah. Okay, so basically it's just gonna help this thing right here be a little nicer looking. Okay, so we got that done. Let's actually try to run this. I don't know how to run this. So run task .net. Oh, it added a build. That's not really what I wanted. I mean, it's nice that it's in there, but my goal is to actually just run this task. I thought there was like a task panel. I don't know what I just did. Oh, wait, what was that? What? Oh, this is a... Okay, I don't want that. I don't know what that is. Relax. Tasks. Configure task. Okay, build release. Okay, that's something. At least it knows it exists. How do I just run my tasks? Run and debug extensions, remote explorer testing. So I ain't got no kind of like .net. Okay, oh, I have notes for this. I don't know why I forgot I had notes for this. Okay, so we're gonna do run task, and then there it is, builds release, right there. Okay, let me delete my output folder so I can make sure this actually works. Run task, build release. And my output folder has this here. Let me go ahead and open up my Finder, and I have my output folder. And here it is. Boom. Okay, so that's cool. That's cool. That's awesome. Um, wow. Okay. Well, that was circuitous. And also the fact that I forgot to like have my screen sharing was a little bit of a bummer too for the end of the stream. But it's okay. I could do a review later on, or I could just continue forward and not think about it too much because it's 3 hours and 43 minutes. I am a little bummed out. Okay, so cool. We got that done. I feel like that is everything. Everything I was supposed to do today, I did. I did it. I need like a cookie or a cupcake. In fact, I'm gonna get off of here and go have me a cupcake. Let's do a final commit. Let's end this process and then add commit. Oop, oop. Done. Let's do a final check of our README just to make sure that it's sitting pretty. You know what I'm saying? You gotta make sure it's readable. You don't have a README that you can't read. That's ridiculous. Let's just look at it from top to bottom. Cool. Great. Wonderful. Perfect. Awesome. Dope. Fresh. Okay, I think we're good with this. I done pushed this up. Now you can go to this GitHub page. You can follow this code if you want to, and run this for yourself. And we have made something cool today. Okay, I'm excited to come back. I'll be back on tomorrow for a new stream in this series. I'm basically going to do this this week because my goal this week is to learn C sharp, or at least to get back used to it. I've relearned C sharp probably like 2 or 3 times at this point, but I want to get back used to it because my students are going to be learning C sharp in probably like about a month or two. And when they get ready to do that, I want to be like more sharper. And also, I just want to progress my skills. I feel like I've been very stagnant with it because it's not something I use a whole lot. But there's no reason why it has to stay that way. I want to be able to like know that it's something I could do and it's not scary or intimidating or like off-putting. Especially as someone who wants to be like language agnostic. And it is one of the ones to know these days. You know, it's one of the major languages to know. So anyways, thank you for coming by the stream. Thank you for watching. Let me go ahead and give you a little bit of this action right here. This is OpenPair, .NET, and specifically focusing on C sharp. In the future, I may talk about and do other things because .NET is a whole framework ecosystem, has another language called F sharp. There's also Visual Basic. I think it'd be cool to explore all three of these languages, and as well as like all the other tools and things that you can do with the .NET framework, including making servers and maybe even some game stuff. I don't know. So we'll see. This is episode 1. And if you've been to any of my streams before or any of the OpenPair streams, you know, I always like to end off my streams with a little bit of feedback, a little bit of advice, a little bit of wisdom, a little bit of like a little some extra just so you can leave in good spirits. And give me a second. Got it. Okay, so earlier today, I was on LinkedIn and I saw this post that I found really, really provocative. In this post, it was on one side an image of a man holding up some very prestigious award. It was something like, you know, one of those like top 10 business people to know, or, you know, there's always like those lists of like 10 people under 40, you know, 20 under 20, those type of things. So there was a picture of a man holding up an award. He was just smiling from cheek to cheek because it was so prestigious, and it looked like maybe he had probably worked really hard to receive this and was kind of existing in the space of experiencing a whole lot of acknowledgement and glory. What was interesting was that on the other side of this image, juxtaposed against it, was another picture of him just ugly face crying, just like straight up like, I don't want to do ugly face cry, but you know what I'm talking about. The kind of like cry that an actor does, and you look at it and you're like, damn, that's a good actor. You know what I'm saying? Like when you see a pretty person, like real. If you've ever seen like the Barbie movie, there's a scene kind of towards the endish of the movie where Barbie is like just utterly destroyed by her collision with the reality of the world, and she does this like upside down, like just ugly toddler cry face. And that's what this man looked like. So one picture was him just smiling and so happy with his award, and the other picture was like him with his like ugly face cry. And the caption below was like, "This is me a year later." And the purpose of that post was really talking about how when you look at people online, especially people that you admire, people you look up to, people who sell themselves as being heroic, oftentimes that imagery, as compelling as it may be, is not a reflection of reality. What you're seeing when you see that kind of thing is the way that we present ourselves in order to make ourselves marketable for the purpose of a personal brand, because that a lot of times is what the internet requires us to do in order to move forward, right? Especially in a world where we are more numbers than we are people in these environments. So the reason why I bring this up is because I think as a developer, as an engineer, sometimes we are sold the image of like the perfect programmer, especially in the context of YouTube, where we're used to like consuming all these tutorials, these videos, these little, thought pieces for people who seem to have it all together and who seem to know everything, right? And the reality is that you don't know, first of all, what goes on behind the scenes, right? Like I, for example, could easily get on here. I could have everything written up. I could literally type line for line things that I have like, already pre-made out. I can make it seem like I'm just coding from the top of my head, like some seasoned poet that's able to just read with such fluidity that it just sounds like the words come out of my mouth like water. I could do that, right? But is that how I actually work in real life? When confronted with problems that I've never faced before, when confronted with solutions that I've never had to implement before, when confronted with technologies and with frameworks and dependencies that I've never used before, a language that I've never coded in before or am rusty with, is that a realistic expectation? And if you watch people in a lot of tutorials, it can mislead you into thinking that everything should just be so smooth and easy. And it's not always like that, okay? And so my point here today is like, please be graceful with yourself and do not measure yourself up against these bite-sized, consumable, 10-minute, highly edited versions of what a developer is. Do yourself a service and constantly remind yourself that what you're seeing is the prettified version of software engineering, because it is, in fact, a very messy and confusing and emotionally taxing career. And I think that this is important because if you do not hold that in your active consciousness as you proceed down this career path, you may be setting yourself up for burnout as you try to maintain that. As you try to maintain that against the reality of our energy, of our attention spans, of our ability to actually do things perfectly, which is, perfection is just an illusion anyways, right? Perfection in the context of how we deliver these things in our streams is a matter of editing and positioning and preparation, having a hefty amount of notes and all that other stuff. And yeah, there are some people who really have it like that, but the average developer, the average anybody has a messy process, and that is okay. It is more than okay. Like it is what it is. That's what it's supposed to be. So don't set yourself up to be like this moralistic story that this post was meant to capture, where you are presenting yourself to the world as like this fabulous, like, I'm on the edge, I'm doing this, it looks amazing. Like, and the reality is that you're struggling. It's okay to struggle. In fact, I would say don't even hide it. Don't even bother hiding it. You know, one thing I always tell my students is that the learning is in the struggle zone. If there is no struggle zone, you're not learning. And if the struggle zone goes away, you're not progressing, evolving, or growing. If the struggle zone goes away, you're not creating value for yourself, most of all, and you may not be creating as much value as you could be for other people. Problems worth solving are difficult ones, challenging ones, you know? And so, yes, it's one thing to be able to present some content online. I know people don't really want to watch a 4-hour live stream video, of you twiddling your thumbs and looking through documentation. It's not trendy, but that is more real than the stuff that you're going to see in a tutorial video and whatnot. Okay, where people have pre-rehearsed and are probably showing you things that they've done a million times. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense. Take it for what it is. That's my message for the day. I might come back and disagree with it tomorrow, but it is what it is. I said what I said, and I'm about to get off of here and go about my business. I might be back on for another thing later on, but we'll see when we get there. Thank you for coming by. This is OpenPair. My name is Key, and this was Getting Started with C Sharp. And I will continue this series. Come back sometime tomorrow. I ain't going to tell you when. I don't like to plan. But I will be here, and I hope you are too. So I'll catch you later. Peace.